Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you how to connect to a socket.io server in Angular. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new Angular project to test this out. So ng new socket.io example, and let's wait for that to complete. Alright then, once that's been created, I'm going to change directory to the project directory, and I'm going to open it in Visual Studio Code. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the terminal and create a new service, which I'm going to call WebSocket Service, which should show up here. There we go. And here is where we want to keep the socket.io connection logic. So let's first install the socket.io client and save that and wait for that to install. Alright then, so once that's been installed, we can now import it here. So all as IO from socket.io -client. There we go. That's all we need to do. So now we want to, first of all, create the socket object. And that's what we have to do. And now we want to create two methods. The first of which will be the listen method. And that will take in the parameter of the event name to listen to. And here we will return an observable. And here we will now listen for that event. So here we will do this .socket.on and then put in the event name. And then we want to get the callback with the data. And here we want to do subscriber.next and then pass the data. Okay, that's it for the listen method. And we now want to create the emit method, which will take in the event name and the data. So here we can do this .socket.emit and pass in the two parameters. And that's it. So now the last thing we need to do is create the connection. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll put the connection code within the constructor. And here we can do this .socket is equal to IO and then pass in the URL. So for this we'll create a read-only string. And we'll call this URI, and we'll set this to localhost 3000. There we go, and we can pass it in here now. Okay, so that's all we have to do for the service. Now let's go to the app component.ts and let's implement on init, and we can now create that, and here we want to connect to the socket.io server. So let's get the constructor as well, and let's inject the service. So private WebSockets service. There we go. So here what we want to do is actually we want to listen to an event from the socket.io server. And to do that we can do this .websocketservice.listen, and we can pass in the event name, which will be a test event. And we can do .subscribe and get the data, and we can then do console.log the data, save that, and we can now serve the application. And once that's been served, we can go to localhost 4200. And we have our app here, and let's go to the console. Alright then, so we are getting some errors, and that's actually good because it means it's working. The reason we're getting these errors is because we haven't started the socket.io server yet. So here I have a basic socket.io server set up, which I'm now going to start. And it's very basic. All it does is when a client connects, then there is a test event that is emit, which is what we are listening to in the Angular client. So let's start this now. So node socket.io server. Great, so now it's working, and we can see it's because it says that a user has connected, and we get the data here. And we can even change this data to say, this is some new data. Save this, and relaunch the server. And now we should get the data show up in the console here. Oh, okay, node socket. There we go. We should get the data come up here. There we go. We now get this is some new data showing up in the console. So there we go. That is how you connect to a socket.io server in Angular. It's very simple, and it only requires a few lines of code in the WebSocket service. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, be sure to post them down in the comments below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. See you next time.